You're listening to Bush Radio. Bush Radio.
Your real talk radio.
Daganan kilo bejanin kom lomoham. Di betamaso sanalom. Muasa benge kaputo.
State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo.
Knowledge is power, and there is power in books. At Udara Books, we sell books and disseminate knowledge. Buy books on www.udarabooks.com. Udara Books, out to stock your library and connect you to a new world of books.
Mr. Adeniyi, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Thank you very much for having me here today.
Against the run of play, how did you get that title?
Yeah, because an incumbent president was defeated, and it's the first time it will happen in Nigeria. But beyond that, it's not common for a sitting president to be defeated anywhere in the world, because it's an issue in which I did a research into when I spent my 1 year at Harvard in 2010, 2011, and I discovered that I think about 94% of the time incumbents won. So it's only about 6%. I think 96% of the time, actually. I think only about 4% of the period that an incumbent was defeated. So it's not common for an incumbent to be defeated. So against the run of play, and also I in picking the title, I remember that about 8 months before the election, I was with President Jonathan and we were discussing, and he was certain I will win, and I also assured him that he will win, because at that period I thought he was going to win. But a few months later, things changed rather dramatically. So in picking against the run of play meant that it wasn't something that many believe will happen, and it did. That's why I chose the title. I chose a football title anyway.
A football title. It was a game, right?
Yeah, politics is always a game, isn't it?
And Jonathan did not play well at the end.
And he lost.
Did he lose woefully?
No, it doesn't matter. He lost the election. Is he the president today? It's not whether he was woeful or what, but the point is that he lost the election.
Was it about his personality?
No, I don't think so. A number of factors combined to make him lose, and I highlighted some of them there. The manner in which he fought or refused to fight corruption, the Chibok affairs, the security challenge from Boko Haram, and so many things conspired against him at the end of the day. But I also believe that he didn't handle certain things very well.
From the interviews you had with him before the book was published, did you look into his eyes while the interviews lasted?
Of course, I did.
What did you see? That you did not write.
That I didn't?
That you didn't write in this book. What were the things you saw during the interviews?
No, we had lengthy conversations. I was with him for 3 times. But Jonathan is not. He's not an outsider to me. We worked together. He was the vice president to my boss, and I worked closely with him. So he's not. He's somebody I had close conversations with him even before then. So nothing struck me as particular in those interviews.
Was he sober?
He's always sober, isn't he?
Always sober?
Yeah.
Why is he always sober?
Are you not always sober?
No.
Well, because I don't know the context whether I was sober. Of course, there will be regrets, as you imagine anybody who lost an election. And I could see that too, but hey, at that period, I believe that he had moved on. He realized the fact that the election was over.
I asked myself what would happen in a situation in which there was already internal and international conspiracy in his favor. Jonathan talking here. Was this his feeling?
Yes, because he felt that, look, after the election, I mean, of course, in that kind of situation, there are obviously people who are pushing him not to accept defeat. But, hey, at that moment, he had to do introspection. What will be the consequence of my refusal not to concede? I mean, against the background of what happened in 2011, when, despite the fact that he won the election clearly, and because I believe that Jonathan won the 2011 election clearly, there was still violence in the section of the north. So you could imagine what would now happen in a situation where Buhari had won the election, and with all the support he had, both from local and international, the consequence of Jonathan trying to do anything but what he did. Those were the considerations. Those were the thoughts.
I was struck by the word international conspiracy.
He believed that the former president, many of the people around him, believed that there was a Western conspiracy against him. Britain, France, US. And he told me that, look, that of course America wasn't supportive of him, but France caved in as a result of pressure from Britain. I mean, that's his own theory. I don't know.
Did he need their support to be president?
Okay, that's a fair question.
You are an insider. You know how this politics unravels.
Yeah.
Do you need such international support or collaboration to be a president of Nigeria?
Given the world that we are in, maybe even if you don't need their support, you don't need them to be against you. I mean, it doesn't help your cause if those forces are arrayed against you, as he believed that they were against him.
So if he did not see the sign that there was international conspiracy, would he have considered?
Talked also about the local environment, especially what happened in 2011 when there was violence. And he said it before the election that his election is not worth the life of one person. And at the end of the day, I think he delivered on that promise, that he would not allow any blood to spill. And if we want to be fair to him, he was true to that conviction.
In writing this book, you didn't want to cause controversies.
No.
The reason you omitted certain information that were given to you in the course of the various interviews, especially Obasanjo speaking about Atiku Abubakar, right? Yeah. What was it that Obasanjo said that you did not reveal here?
No. It's not part of the book. I mean, many people spoke about several things that were not. You know what I did with the book is that I wanted to tell the story of the election. And that's why, after my interview with each one of them, I emailed them the copy of our discussion. So that and we went through them together. Whatever they didn't want published, I left out. And on my own too, I left out what I believe were not relevant to the discourse.
Don't you think your voice is not too prominent in this book?
It's not about my voice. It's not my story. It's the story of the election. Is deliberate. I wasn't an actor in the election. I'm just a reporter. I just wanted to recount what happened from the perspectives of the actors.
So this is the work of a reporter, not an analyst.
No. I mean, of course, it's a reporter, but an analytical one, because at the end of the day, I make choices. What should go in, what should not. So it's my story, but it's the story of the election from my own eyes, as it were.
How many months did it take you to do this work?
The book came out in April last year.
Yeah.
That was 2017, right? The election happened in. I started it immediately after the election, so it took me almost 2 years, maybe 1.5 years.
Your research at Harvard, did it influence this book in a way?
It did, because I remember that when I came back in 2011, I wrote a piece published by ThisDay and I think other newspapers titled "Divided They Stand, United They Lose." I mean, which I talked about the fragmentation of the opposition and why it was very easy for Jonathan to win at the time, because I saw it coming, given the fact that the oppositions were fragmented, that when you have that kind of fragmentation, given my own research, is the incumbent that you have.
Do you think the political class has learned any lessons from 2015?
I don't know. I don't think so, but...
Are the issues that worked against Jonathan repeating themselves in the Buhari regime?
I think so. But whether they will have the same effect is another thing altogether, because what I think will help helping the incumbent right now is that there is no cohesive opposition like we had against Jonathan. Because even 3 years before 2011 election, people could picture in their mind who the opposition candidate against Jonathan was going to be. You can't say the same thing now.
So Buhari is likely to win the 2019 election?
No, 24 hours is a long time in politics, so anything can still happen. But if we were to project on the basis of what we see on the ground today, I mean, the odds are still in favor of the incumbents. But anything can happen tomorrow.
Obasanjo was against Jonathan.
Yeah.
And you pointed that out here as one of the reasons Jonathan lost the election.
Yeah.
Obasanjo is up against Buhari again.
Yeah.
Can you tell me something about this man, Obasanjo?
I can't. I didn't work with him.
You don't have to work with him to know him. You have been in the journalism profession over the years.
I got it close. I've gotten closer to President Obasanjo in recent months because we are in the same committee. The former MD of Access Bank, Mr. Ike Moke, they started this African Initiative for Governance where they offer scholarship to 6 scholarships every year to Oxford University. I'm a member of the advisory panel chaired by President Obasanjo, so we see a lot these days. We have interactions. I mean, we have more interesting conversations these days. So he's a strong man. I mean, strong in convictions, and if he puts himself to a battle, he fights with all. He doesn't. But like all human beings, he doesn't always win. So that doesn't mean that fighting Buhari like a fought Jonathan, that the fact that Jonathan lost doesn't mean that Buhari, I mean, will lose. Of course, Jonathan lost as a result of a coalition of several factors, Obasanjo being one of them.
You had to release a statement entitled "Against the Run of Play," what President Jonathan did not say.
Yeah.
Who were those peddling those rumors?
No, there was. I mean, President Jonathan obviously was not happy with the book, and he said he was going to write his own. And then people were doing typical Nigerian saying different interpretations and interpolations to suggest that maybe I misquoted him, I didn't speak to him. So that's why I had to issue that statement that President Jonathan did not say, and he could not have said that I misrepresented in any way. Because like I did with every other person, not only did I email the conversation to him, I sat down with him, we went through everything line by line. That's what I did with Tinubu and all the rest of them, everybody. My idea was not to embarrass anybody, but to tell a story. What each person did not know was what the other person might have said about him. So, I mean, I won't go with the conversation I had with President Jonathan to President to Tinubu, for instance. Of course, there were some people who are not happy. And I will give you one, which I regret. And that's Mr. Nuri Badu. I didn't speak to him. And he felt very bad. He told me afterwards that it was dead. And I apologized to him.
Why did you not speak to him?
It was as a result of pressure of time. Because I spoke last to Governor El-Rufai. And it was El-Rufai's my conversation with El-Rufai that drew out Ribadu. So, and because I done a sort of deadline as to when I wanted to complete the script, I couldn't reach Ribadu again. I felt very bad about it, and I apologized to him.
Tinubu complained about the conspiracy against him in the run-up to the 2015 election.
Yeah.
Was he very pained?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's obvious. Even from the conversation, you see that he was pained by it, because he believed that if he had been paired with Buhari, they would still have won the election. I don't think so, but he strongly believes that.
The conspiracies against him still reflect somehow in the APC. Perhaps he's finally trying to get his groove in the party now. Do you see that as a continuation of the 2015 election?
I don't know. I'm not following the trend in APC and all those conspiracies.
I thought you follow every trend.
I don't follow every trend.
No, Mr. Adeniyi, you are a journalist.
Yes.
The chairman editorial board of ThisDay newspaper.
Yes.
So you obviously have a lot of information on the table before you come out with any editorial.
Yes.
And the APC is a big factor in Nigerian politics.
Yes.
And Tinubu is always there.
Yes.
So why are you trying not to follow these issues?
No, of course, I follow the trend. What I'm saying is I don't know. I can't put my finger to what is happening within the party right now. I mean, I read what's going on. I speak to people, but then you don't have the complete picture. That's what I'm saying.
You know, sometimes when I see the likes of Adeniyi, I say, okay, they know everything.
No, nobody knows everything.
Are you saying you don't know everything?
No, how can I know everything?
When you write books all the time?
Yeah, I write book on specific issues, and the point is that on every issue I want to engage, whether in books or in my article, I try to speak to as many people as I can to get different perspectives. Yeah, I do that.
You said, incidentally, a few hours after our second conversation, President Jonathan called me that he felt uncomfortable about a certain response he gave to a particular issue.
Yeah.
So at the end of the
and I obliged him.
You obliged him.
Yeah.
So can we say at the end of the day, most of the comments here were doctored?
No, they were
after
not
they were made.
No, they were not doctored. They were still that was before the publication of the book.
They were having regrets about the truth they told initially and wanted to amend it.
No, not in this particular instance. It was not amending the truth. I remember specifically there was a line I put. I don't know, and I said no, he cancelled it. But later he occurred to him that he cancelled that line, but anybody reading the book will still come to the same conclusion.
Can you talk about the line now?
I don't want to talk about it. It's too personal. I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about it. Then, and he explained his position, and he told me more, and I to help me reflect what he wanted to, and I reflected in the book.
Does he pay attention to detail? Jonathan.
I will imagine so.
Is he an intellectual?
He has a PhD. Don't forget.
Is intellectualism about PhD?
I don't know. I mean, he was a former lecturer, wasn't he?
Are all lecturers intellectuals?
Those are your comments. I don't know.
Is Segun Adeniyi an intellectual?
I'm a journalist. I never claimed to be an intellectual, have I?
Are you not an intellectual?
I don't think so. I'm a reporter. I know myself. A good one at that. Intellectual, I don't know.
Did your time at the presidency affect your personal makeup?
No. It only gave me an opportunity to see Nigeria more. I mean, I was an outsider, and then I became an insider, and I could see things more. I mean, I just saying that the view of the road changes the moment you move from the passenger seat to the driver's side. I mean, I see more as to why things work and why they don't. But it was a good experience for me. I didn't want to go into government, but looking back, I think it was good for me because I learned a lot in those brief moments in government.
You saw conspiracy?
Everything.
You saw deceit?
Everything.
The program is State Affairs. Segun Adeniyi, the author of the book Against the Run of Play, How an Incumbent President Was Defeated in Nigeria, is my guest. We'll be back after this break, so don't go away.
Knowledge is power, and there is power in books. At Udara Books, we sell books and disseminate knowledge. Buy books on www.udarabooks.com. Udara Books, out to stock your library and connect you to a new world of books.
Bush Radio.
Bush Radio. Bush Radio.
Bush Radio.
Your real talk radio.